Hi, this is Jonathan. How you guys doing? In today's video, we're going to feature the new Nux Mg-30. So from the top down, you can see that there are 3 foot switches at the bottom and expression to the right. You can use this to change your patch if you need to. All right. And then you can have this, depressing this 2 will activate the tuner. And if you choose to exit the tuner, all you need to do is to double press this and you're out. Or you can activate the looper by pressing these 2 foot switches, and you go into your looper section where you can actually adjust your drums if you need to, right? So you want to exit this, same thing, double press and you're out of it. This is the master volume. Try to keep it at a minimum, not too high, because it tends to distort. And you have a display here where it basically tells you what you have in this patch. So mine is a JonK Clean. So basically I have a gate and a compressor and amplifier and IR or whatever the speaker simulation that it has, EQ, mod, delay, and reverb. Right? And to enter into all these parameters, all you need to do is to hit on to the right hand side, and here you can do your editing on your verse effects. For example, compressors, all you do is to depress this and you'll enter into the screen mode for the compressor settings, and you can choose compressors if you choose to. There are 3 compressors over here. You can do all adjustments over here. Sorry, here. Right? If you don't like this compressor, you can change another one, and here you can have all the adjustments, right? Likewise, if you want to go to EQ, all you need to do is depress it, and there you go. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there are like 4. Yeah, 4 EQs for you to choose from, and again, you can adjust accordingly from here. Same with the other rest of the effects that you can have your mod and whatever. And if you choose to add one more effect, you can just press here, and this will let you know whether you want to have a booster or a distortion and whatever you have over here, right? And you can adjust accordingly. To activate it, just press once and you have this light green turn up, and it means that this effect is being activated. Right? If you don't want to activate it, just press it down, and you can always save the setting. Now the global is where you can access a whole lot of parameters, where there's pre-EQ, where you can actually determine what sort of a tone you want before it goes into the unit, which is pretty cool, And then if you want to exit, all you need to do is just press once and it goes back. And then you have the output mode, where you can choose between Studio Direct, Combo Front, Stack Front, Combo Rear, Stack Rear. Right? So I'm actually using it directly into, I'm actually plugging it directly to my interface, so I'll just use Studio Direct. And even there, you can actually choose to EQ your sound before you go into the interface, which is another neat function. Right, and then you have expression pedal setup, where you can actually kind of like set up what you want this expression pedal to do and how to calibrate it. And then you have parameters following. I don't know what the heck is this, but so I'll give me some time to play around with it, and then display, where you can actually how bright you want the display to be, what sort of boot up picture you want. You can even upload your own picture, your own photo if you need to, and large number or large name, right? And then you have the other stuff, USB routing. You got to read up on it, and then you even have a game mode where you can play a snake game. How to start this? Right? So yeah, that's pretty neat, And then you can always, if you feel that, and if you feel that something is not right and you want to recall back to the factory setting, all you need to do is go back to the factory default, and it asks you to restore all presets. Are you sure? And all you need to do is to go yes, and just hit down, and you're back to factory setting. Right, and you have an info here where it basically tells you the CPU firmware, what firmware you're using. So Yeah, it's always good to kind of like reference this every time you do a update, a firmware update. All right, that's about it. Now with the included dual foot switch, you are able to have additional 2 more foot switches in addition to all this 3 that is on the unit itself. So the way I have it hooked up, I can actually access certain parameters. If you take a look at this, right? So take a note at all this. You can see that. So my A is for my delay, and my B is for my chorus. Now there must be a way for me to switch around this, but I'm trying to get to that. But for now, you can actually access other parameters from here. Now if I were to go to a semi-clean, this will activate my distortion pedal. It's pretty cool. And this will activate my tremolo if I need to. All right. First off, I want to thank Nux for sending this unit for this review. I want to thank Mount especially. And if you all recall, you have this previously, the Mg-300, which is really good, which I was like so impressed by because it really sounded good. So this is the latest version of the Mg series. This is the Mg-30. It's made of aluminum chassis, sturdy, built like a rock, it's more stable than the Mg-300. You have an expression pedal, 3 foot switches in front, various parameters where you can change, knobs, change your parameters. And at the back you have your input, you have your send and return, you have your aux in where you can plug in your MP3 player or anything like that. You have your headphone out. And then you have an expression pedal or additional expression pedal. Then you have a USB to connect to your computer for any firmware updates, or if you want to use that QuickTone software that's provided by Nux. It's free, right? So you can download that. And it's a breeze to use the QuickTone software to adjust your parameters, as you probably have seen. Really intuitive, really fast, there's no fuss, no muss. And even if you don't have a computer nearby, you can still access the internal parameters through all these buttons that you have on the right hand side and all these knobs. You can kind of do quick adjustment on the fly. It has the capability to load in your own IRs if you choose to, so that is so good. I load my own IRs into this, the same IRs that I use for my Helix, and it worked perfectly. You have a expression 1, well, it's labeled as expression 1, so it's a connection to another expression pedal. So Nux has deemed fit to include this. This is a dual foot switch to work in conjunction with this unit, henceforth giving you additional 2 more foot switches to play around. So basically you have bank up, bank down, or preset up, preset down, and then you have a control where you can actually access your tuner or tap tempo, right? So you can access your tap tempo here, and this additional 2 gives you the option to kind of like turn on or turn off, or control any other parameters that you deem fit, rather than like the Mg-300 where you are just given like 3 foot switches and there's only so much you can do. So this is meant for the live player. Now, the other improvement that this have over Mg-300 is that now it has 2 DSP. So it gives you more DSP power to do more things. And it's more defined, right? So if you think of Mg-300 as a high definition, this is 2K. Right? It's not 4K, it's 2K, but it's an improvement. So it's great. You can hear the clarity of certain amp simulation, the cap simulation, and you can actually kind of like see and hear the improvement, or rather hear the improvement. So the only thing I find a bit disconcerting is the master volume. Right? If you put it all the way up, you're bound to distort. The sound will come out distorted because you're setting too much gain in the output. And the rest of the effects are top class. You have various effects that, like the Mg-300, the effects that you're familiar with, the classic effects that you have, and also some effects from Nux itself, like you have the Morning Glory and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. And it also has a looper as well as a drum machine, cool, just like the Mg-300, and it's perfectly in sync, so you can kind of like jam along with yourself and practice, and this is pretty neat. I find that's pretty neat. The tuner is a nice visual treat because it gives you very accurate way to tune your guitar properly. The unit is really roadworthy. It's built like a tank, like I said, and not that heavy. You can slot this into your guitar bag if you choose to. And as of now, I do not have the price for this, so you might want to check with Nux later on to find out what's the pricing going to be like in the website. I don't think it's going to be expensive. This is going to be quite affordable. I have created 4 patches for the Mg-30 and it's available in the units if you decided to procure them. I created these patches with the Harley Benton HHT, so it's humbuckers bass. So if you are using a Stratocaster, a single coil, you might find that the tone's a bit too thin, so adjust accordingly, right? So you don't have to do exactly or play exactly as it's been written. The patches are all there by other people, and it's for you to tweak in accordance to what your guitar is and what your preference is, right? It's just a guide. Cool, nice unit. So let me know what you think about this unit and leave a comment in the comment section down below. Again, I want to thank Nux and Monk for sending this unit for this review. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and join this channel and press that bell to be notified of new videos that comes out in the future. And be part of the patrons that support this channel. I would really appreciate that. I want to thank all my patrons for all the love and their friendship and the support. Right? So in the meantime, you guys please take care of yourself. I'll see you again real soon. Ciao.